Sunio is a university student. One day he saves a disabled girl named Jose from falling. Instead of thanking him, she bites him and then calls him a pervert. Soon after, Jose's grandmother arrives and helps her up. Since they live in the same direction, Sunio is going the same way they are. Jose accuses him of stalking. In his eyes, this wheelchair-bound girl with a fierce temper and a hint of pride is quite the character. He silently ensures both of them get home safely. Upon reaching Jose's house, her grandmother, grateful for Sunio's assistance, invites him in and even cooks him dinner. Sunio, whose stomach is growling with hunger, gratefully accepts, especially since he's currently low on cash. To save money for his dream trip to Mexico to witness mesmerizing schools of fish, he's been working tirelessly and scrimping every penny. The grandmother sees his sincere nature and offers him a job, to be Jose's caregiver. The only stipulation is that he must always do as Jose says. Sunio is hesitant. Catering to the whims of a pampered, disabled girl isn't exactly his forte as a marine biology student, but the pay is too good to pass up. Accepting the role, Sunio quickly realizes he's signed up for challenging times. Jose gives bizarre commands. She asks him to kneel just to see how long humans can endure it, to count the squares on the ta'ama mats, a task interrupted by the grandmother's sudden return, which means starting from scratch, and to find 10 four-leaf clovers because she believes gathering 10 grants a wish. Each bizarre request stresses Sunio out to the point where, after a month, he feels like he's losing his mind. He laments how Jose seems so gentle but speaks with a sting like a jellyfish. Just as Sunio considers quitting, great news comes his way. His application to study abroad has been approved, bringing him one step closer to his Mexican dream. Preoccupied with learning Spanish and writing his thesis, he contemplates resigning. But when he opens Jose's door to tell her, he finds an empty room adorned with colorful markers and captivating drawings of the deep blue sea with whales, fishes, and more. This artwork unveils Jose's longing for the boundless ocean, a dream not too different from Sunio's. Disturbed by her absence, Sunio starts searching for her. He eventually finds her at a crossroads. She asks if he can take her to the sea. Sunio remembers seeing her drawings of the ocean. He understands how much she wants to see it but can't, so he decides to take her on her first train ride. They navigate through a bustling crowd to get on the train. Finally, they sit and watch the landscapes go by through the train window. Reaching the beach, Jose's wheelchair gets stuck in the sand. Undeterred, she tries crawling towards the sea, driven by a childhood memory of her father, who once took her to the beach but never told her how the sea tasted before his untimely death. Books said it's salty, and she needs to know for herself. Deeply moved, Sunio carries her into the waves. The salty splash confirms her suspicion, leading to a euphoric moment, with laughter echoing as if they are in love. Returning home, the protective grandmother scolds Sunio, fearing the harsh world might break Jose's spirit. But the girl, having tasted freedom, hatches plans for sneaky outings with Sunio during her grandma's nap time. He risks his job to show her a world of firsts, delicious street foods, vibrant paint shops, panoramic views on a Ferris wheel, teary moments in a cinema, and a mesmerizing visit to an aquarium. With each marine creature, Sunio shares his knowledge, deepening their bond in a world where they once seemed worlds apart. After returning home, Jose captures her experiences and thoughts with her paintbrush. From then on, her world is not just about painting and books but also about the real human world that Sunio introduces her to. Jose admires a young boy's scooter, so Sunio modifies one just for her. Jose enjoys reading, so Sunio takes her to the library. While they are there bickering as they choose books, the librarian mistakes them for a couple. A mysterious affection begins to develop between them. Jose admires that Sunio gets to meet many people in his job at the diving store. Sunio takes her to his workplace. Despite her cute face attracting the attention of his male coworkers, Jose can't help but feel insecure when she sees the healthy and beautiful girls in the store. The feeling of being specially cared for makes her conflicted. She hates the condescending pity from others. With a disheartened expression, she leaves the diving store. Sunio asks her what's wrong, but Jose avoids the question. She says they are from different worlds. She refuses Sunio's offer to escort her home, pushes her wheelchair alone, and asks her grandmother to tell Sunio not to come anymore. Jose lies on the floor at home, unable to concentrate on reading her books. Sunio can't figure out what he did wrong. Meanwhile, his scholarship application is approved. Plan for going abroad the next spring is formalized. Though he should be elated, Sunio is anxious about leaving someone he has grown fond of. Without Sunio, Jose tries to live independently. She goes to the library to narrate stories for kids. It's her first time, and the story turns out boring. Soon, only one child remains. Jose feels upset. When the child asks her what a mermaid palace looks like, Jose, not good with words, draws it instead. The librarian praises her artistic talent, suggesting she could be a great illustrator someday. A casual comment plants a seed of dream in Jose's mind. Sunio doesn't want to end this encounter hastily. He makes a glowing fish lamp for Jose. It's a rare fish species found only in Mexico, the orange fairy fish. Sunio had seen it once as a child and was captivated. Back then, his parents had just divorced, and he would talk to the fish every day. This inspired him to dream of going to Mexico to see schools of such fish. To realize this dream, he studies hard and works part-time jobs, all to witness the enchantment of the ocean firsthand. The glowing fish lamp evokes his memories. As they lean closer, their intense eye contact and hesitating lips create a warm atmosphere between them. Jose breaks this moment, but can't stop the flow of love. She starts dressing up for their next meeting, and no longer sneaks out, but leaves the house openly. Her grandmother hears Jose say the world is not as scary as she thought. It's the happiest thing her grandmother has heard in a long time, because her beloved granddaughter has finally gained something very precious, the courage to face reality. They visit the zoo to see tigers. Jose's grandma always used to say that the human world is like a wild beast. But now, with Sunio by her side, it doesn't seem so scary if she holds his hand. Jose wants to chase her dreams courageously like Sunio. She decides to become a professional artist. They can enjoy the falling leaves together in autumn and the cherry blossoms in spring. In Jose's imagined future, Sunio is always there. Despite hearing all these beautiful dreams, Sunio never finds the courage to tell her he's going to study abroad. But time is cruel. It takes away Jose's only family, her grandma, who dies of a heart attack. Her life plunges into darkness. The inheritance left by her grandma barely covers her living expenses. She can't afford to pay Sunio's salary anymore. Their master-servant relationship comes to an end. The restrained love they feel can't bear the weight of an uncertain future. Either of them chooses to express it. Time slowly dilutes their love. Sunio wavers between love and his dream of going abroad. Mai, his co-worker, sees his struggle. She tells Jose about Sunio's plan to study abroad in Mexico, asking Jose not to stand in his way. She even cruelly suggests that Sunio's kindness is just out of pity. This deeply wounds Jose's pride. When Sunio comes to see her again, she acts cold. She makes one last request to go see the ocean. Sunio grants her wish. It's the same route, the same ocean, but their feelings are completely different now. Jose doesn't taste the sea this time. Instead, tears roll down her cheeks, leaving a salty bitterness in her heart. After a moment at the beach, she turns to leave. Sunio stops her, saying he wants to see her again, salary or not. Jose says it's too late. All the simple things are out of reach for her. The red balloon hanging from the ceiling, the cicada's shell on the tree, walking in the rain with an umbrella, climbing the temple steps. Everything that's ordinary is incredibly difficult for her in a wheelchair. Her dreams of being an illustrator will vanish, as will her love. People who are healthy won't understand. Jose feels utter despair in her heart. Sunio doesn't know how to comfort her. Rain falls, echoing the heavy mood. Sunio stands still in the rain. The rain soaks his clothes and wakes him up. He decides to go back and find Jose. Jose is at a crossroad, but her wheelchair gets stuck. A car speeds towards her. Sunio rushes over without thinking of the danger. Sunio gets hit by the car and falls unconscious. Kind passers-by call for emergency help. Jose feels utterly hopeless. She hates that she can't do anything to help. If Sunio never wakes up, she will live forever in guilt and shame. Luckily, after emergency treatment, Sunio is out of danger. The first thing he does when he wakes up is ask about Jose's condition. He feels relieved knowing she is unharmed. He then realizes his condition is much worse. The doctor says he has broken his right leg and left arm. He won't be able to walk normally for 2 months. Further surgery can't guarantee his joints will fully heal. He might even be permanently disabled. His advisor also informs him that if he can't go abroad as planned, his spot will go to someone else. Each piece of bad news feels like a bolt from the blue, crushing his hope for life. If he can't even go diving, what's the point of studying abroad? He lies restless in the hospital bed. Only now does he finally understand how Jose feels in a wheelchair. He gets why she says healthy people won't understand. Having to give up your dreams due to reality is a certain kind of unreachable despair. Mai confesses her love, but Sunio cannot reciprocate her feelings. Yet Mai doesn't give up easily. She never confessed before because she didn't want to get in the way of his dream to Mexico. But now that he can't go to Mexico, she decides to fight for her love. She confronts Jose for a fair competition. Mai has hidden her feelings for years but knows every little thing about Sunio. She can talk about his life for days and nights. She thinks her love will make Sunio forget about the sea. But Jose says, "My servant never gives up. He will never forget the fish or give up his dream. This is who he is. I may not know 100 small things about him like you do, but I'm not losing to you in emotions." Mai says, "If that's the case, prove it with your actions." Then Mai leaves angrily. The moment she steps out, she knows she has lost. Jose also decides to lift Sunio's spirits in her own way. She picks up her paintbrush and starts creating day and night. She's doing this to tell Sunio a story. It's a story about a mermaid and a boy with white wings. Far away in the deep sea, there lives a lonely mermaid. On her 20th birthday, she gets a gift. It's a magical seashell that can turn her into a human. If she makes a wish to the shell, her fishtail will become legs. But if she makes a wish that doesn't concern her, the mermaid will turn into foam. The mermaid goes to shore, curious about the human world. But the world outside the ocean is full of dangers. She meets a ferocious tiger. The mermaid runs and screams for help. A boy with white wings descends from the sky and rescues her. They fly freely in the sky on his wings. The boy tells the mermaid about his dream. His dream is to fly to the ocean in the spring. He wants to see schools of orange fairy fish. This has been his wish since he was little. The mermaid admires how freely he lives. During the time they become friends, they go to many places together. They experience many firsts in life. When she's with the boy, the mermaid feels like her world becomes infinitely vast. Besides the ocean, she now also has love in her heart. But as seasons change, spring is approaching. The boy with white wings has to leave. The mermaid feels sad about their parting. When she's alone, she meets another ferocious tiger. The tiger leaps toward her with its fangs and claws. At the last moment, the boy appears and rescues her again. But this time, he pays the price of breaking his wings. The mermaid cries and makes a wish to the magical shell, saying, "Save him." In an instant, the boy's wounds heal, but his wings can't be restored. His dream of flying to the ocean now seems unreachable. When the boy is heartbroken, the mermaid tells him that physical wings can break. But as long as hope remains, the wings in your heart can still take you to your dreams. She says, "You once used those wings to protect me and push me forward. Now these invisible wings can still take you anywhere you want to go. If you can't get there by flying, then walk." The boy braves the wind and rain to reach that shimmering ocean. The journey to chase his dream becomes harder, but his heart grows stronger, more beautiful, and unbreakable. The boy finally reaches the ocean and freely swims with the orange fairy fish. The mermaid turns back into a mermaid, and nothing else happens. In that ocean of dreams, they will surely meet again. This is the story of the mermaid and the boy with white wings. It's also the story of Jose and Sunio. After hearing the story, Sunio sheds tears. From that moment on, hope reignites in his heart. Under the guidance of doctors, he actively engages in rehabilitation training. He refuses to give up before everything is decided. Day after day, he trains non-stop. After relentless effort, he finally stands up again. On the day he's discharged from the hospital, Jose promises to pick him up. But Sunio waits for a long time and she never shows up. Calls go unanswered. When he gets to Jose's house, it's empty. Sunio and his friends search every corner of the city but never find her. Sunio retraces their steps to all the places they've been. Eventually, at the zoo's snowy grounds, he finds familiar tire tracks. A strong feeling tells him Jose is nearby. He speeds up, following the tracks. But fate plays a huge joke on him when the tracks disappear at an intersection. He silently utters Jose's name in his heart. Not far away, Jose turns around as if sensing him. Seeing no one, she walks alone in the snow. Suddenly, a man chasing a dog knocks over her wheelchair. Jose slides down a slope. The brakes fail on the icy surface. Her wheelchair throws her into the air. In that moment, a familiar embrace opens up to her. Just like the first time they met, Sunio catches Jose. They both tumble into the snow. This time they don't hide their love but choose to openly confess. Joseが好きだ! They burst into tears in Sunio's arms. The journey from believing in love to choosing love has been difficult for her. Jose will firmly pursue her dream of becoming an illustrator. She will strive to live independently. Sunio will also go to Mexico to see schools of fish and experience a broader world. They will both courageously walk on their own life paths, chasing dreams. Yet this doesn't stop them from loving each other. If liking is the initial spark, then love motivates them to be better. When they meet again, it will be the perfect beginning.